Welcome. This is the Cemetery Commission meeting in person and remote hybrid format for board members and public. Thursday, November 14th, 4 p.m. Welcome to any of those that are on Zoom, and welcome to our commission members and Sexton. And attendance throughout here. Norman Bush, Norm's here, Darcy's here, Sexton's here. Everyone's all present and accounted for. I'm not saying the rest of it, Darcy. We have any public comments? No.
No.
Sexton report.
All right, give me that. So Evan's given me the last three burials that we did, so then I'll have a full up-to-date one, and then I'll just email you guys all that. Norma, I'll give it to your wife when she comes.
Okay.
I'll put it in a folder. Updated the sale of plots. So we have the heart shape, we did that already. We're in the process of looking for columbariums. The one place that Jean gave me that we found some real nice ones. We can actually get 3 of them that each hold 48, 24 on each side. And that'll just be for cremations. And that's gonna go over on the left side of the all symmetric. And it'll go over on the left side of the heart. And that's what that area will be all about. The only thing we have to do is come up with pricing. So if you guys will start thinking about what you think that when they buy that, purchase that 12 by 12 box, supposedly it'll hold like two of these owls shaped vases that they put cremations in. I myself, I would think it would be better, and I'll suggest it to people when they talk to me about once we get them. Instead of putting them and spending money on that, if it's just for 2 people, if it's a husband-wife thing, that's fine. But if they have kids and grandkids, and family members, I would suggest them not putting them in that and leaving them in the box that they come in, because the box they come in is probably no higher than this and a little wider, and we could probably stack 6 or 8 of them in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you're buying a box, then, and you're putting like family in there, anywhere from 2 to 6 people, cremations, that you're fitting a whole family, and that's saving us plots on the ground.
Yeah, I think what we'd have to.
So we have to stop and think about the price.
Yeah, and then also there's that they can't put them in urns, if they're only staying in the baggies.
Well, no, if that's their choice. If it's just a husband and wife and they want them in urns,
That's fine,
it'll fit too. But that's it. But if they knew that box was gonna be left to their family, just like
They
a
could
plot
do more.
is, they could do so much more if they didn't and left it in that original box.
Yeah, I think as long as we are able to communicate that.
Right, so we have to just work on that over the winter and come up with pricing. Because right now, a cremation in the ground is $250. And we wouldn't be digging a hole in the ground, we'd be unlocking a door, and putting that in there. We'd still be doing the ceremony in the heart, with the minister and stuff like that. We would be setting that up, and there's gonna be a, at the top of the heart where the point is, there's gonna be a pedestal. We're looking at some guy in Suffield that makes them. It's a pedestal and then maybe a heart flat thing on top, so that the minister would be able to put a book of prayers or something and read off of it. Or a family member can come up and say something, and that would be our area where they're gonna have their ceremony, because it's in a box, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're giving them a nice area to do a ceremony, and then we would go place them in there. So we really have to think about the pricing, and it's not about making money. It's about saving space for land for doing it this way. But yet we still have to pay for,
How much are each, when you work it down, how much is each?
it's $3,500 a cement piece.
Oh,
How
So
many
there's
are there?
24 in front, 24 boxes in the back. So there's 48.
48 and one,
Yep.
come back.
so just divide the cost. I
Right.
don't have my phone.
No, we could, I see what you're saying. You're saying just divide it.
Yeah, so the cost of, for the foundation, you gotta encompass all the cost for us to do the whole thing. That's what,
Even if, I think, Lisa was talking about where the minister or whatever would read his books and prayers from, is that gonna
This
be,
would be-
permanent?
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be a permanent, like cement stone,
Yeah.
a
okay.
pedestal thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would be,
You don't wanna take something you gotta pull out.
No,
there and
no,
back and
right,
forth.
exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
No, yeah, I would just set it in concrete.
yeah.
Yeah.
One,
oh, the whole thing's gonna be concrete.
this would be for the concrete slab.
yeah.
That's
then-
divided by 3. And then if we did, would we say 3,500 divided by 48 equals 72.91. So 1,333 divided by 48 equals, so that's like $28. So it would be like, it would only be like $191 if we divided it by 48.
I
The
said-
concrete, to pay for the concrete and the whole unit. But you gotta, it's also Evan's time of being there for the whole thing still. So the other day he did one and it was 2 hours. So, you know, he's there doing nothing. He can't mow, he can't do anything while
There's things going on.
the thing's going on, and he's really supposed to keep everybody else out of the cemetery. We're gonna work harder on this year on that,
Yeah,
get the right signage, so that if someone's having a funeral, we just put a cone, a couple cones up with a sign that goes across it. You can't enter now, there's a funeral going on,
Yeah,
that type of thing. You're supposed to, out of respect for the families and stuff, you're supposed to do that. Sometimes we have 2 going on at the same time, or the same hour and a half, so that we'll know what days those are, and we'll understand that one, but for the most part, yeah. So, I mean, right now we get 250, and that's only $100 that would, divided by 48, so I wouldn't wanna lower it any more than 250.
no, I was thinking that's a good number.
yeah,
Yeah, to stay with, we don't have to raise it, but if we stayed with that number, that pretty much pays for his time and stuff like that.
Yeah, each time you have to open up the box to add one, it'd be 250.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's also like part of the ceremony, he has to do the table, and we're trying to
Right.
find a really nice table to put the urn on at the time before it goes in the box, so,
so what I'm saying is, if
yeah.
say that someone already bought one
yeah,
and say the husband's in there, right?
right,
So it's 250 for the husband, and then when the wife goes in there, we're gonna charge it 250 again.
right, because they're still gonna have the ceremony, they're still gonna do the
the whole
time,
thing-
yeah,
The whole thing all over again, yeah.
right, exactly.
And then,
Which isn't a bad price
No,
compared
no.
to the
Buying-
600 for the ground and
Oh,
buying a
yeah.
plot.
yeah, absolutely.
So that's 450 for a plot, and then it's, whether you're cremated in it or not, it's still 450.
And if I seem to remember is that when it comes to inscription, they can take the door off and you put another door in its place. That has that capability in there for that,
What do you mean inscription?
or when they.
The name on the front of the
Put on
box.
the name on it,
Oh, so there's one that I saw that has on the side, so it's encased, all these boxes are encased in, a cement, big, huge block, right? And on the end, it has all these little tags, almost like you go and you have the tag engraved. And it has like 48 on the side. The only problem is if you put more than one person in there, I don't know if that would be just for the initial family name.
well, it also might cause a little bit of confusion for the
Right.
person trying to find that specific
Right,
box.
exactly. So those are the questions when we go to look for which one we're gonna end up going with,
I'd rather see it on the door.
Yeah,
right?
I would too.
But you're not gonna get 10 names on a door.
No.
Unless it's like just the name like handwritten.
Well, I.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I
but how
mean?
are you gonna keep track of, if you put 10 family members on there, you gotta have them all written
Right,
in their date.
I would suggest that we look at what would properly look good on the box to keep
Right.
it professional.
yeah, we'd have to
So-
ask those questions.
So if it's no more than four, then it'll be no more than four family members can go in that box.
Right,
Because,
oh, gotcha,
yeah, because then sometimes if they wanna add a little epitaph, and some people may wanna do that, then that compounds the problem. So there's all these other little things we have to think about.
right, that's true too, so it's really number of names on a box.
And who pays
Sure.
for the engraving? So
They,
you-
I
they
think,
do, and we would have the engraver that does it on the thing come, and he would probably just engrave on that.
Yeah.
so
this
they
is-
just get billed directly from the engraver.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, they'd have to pay him, yeah. Like if you go to Smith Monument, they have a girl that comes out and does the, lettering and stuff,
Yeah, well, what she does is that she gets,
commission or something.
no,
Right.
what she does is just uses the paper and gets the rubbing
For the right
for,
text,
for the right
font,
text and stuff.
Yeah. and then the guy comes later on.
Yeah.
So that, we just gotta think of that, once we have a little bit of time to think of that. We do have a waiting list stuff started. Cause people have seen the ad in the paper that we did, when we did the heart. And then, yeah, so now they're asking to be on a waiting list. Yeah, so we have a couple people waiting, but. We did have, an issue this week with, somebody drove into the old cemetery.
And I saw the video in the car and I know which row it was in.
Yeah, went around the back lower of the cemetery, the old cemetery, right, where that road isn't that wide. It's
Was it a
pretty,
white truck?
no,
No.
went around the
Oh,
back,
of course.
came up the hill and drove over all the graves. And Evan was over in section 6, and because now he can see through the trees, because there's no leaves. He saw the guy up on the crest of the hill and he's like, where is he? What is this guy doing?
And he had a
and he-
dog with him too.
And he had a dog, and he was outside the car with the dog, letting him do his business up on the ground. And so Evan's running over to the other cemetery, and he pulls the guy and he goes up to him, and the guy was very rude. Like started swearing at him and everything, and he's like, "You guys don't have any signs, you don't have any," and he goes, "Does this look like a road to you?" He goes, "It's barely, I don't know how you got your car in here without hitting the stones, I don't know. And I don't even know how you got down," because Evan's like, "There's no road that you came up, you came down, you just drove over all these graves."
Well,
And Evan was really trying to explain that to him.
Yeah, it's. It's
So you
plenty,
got
it's
the
a plenty,
guy's
it's plenty
name and-
wide. And, we go up there and mow and, Kubota goes up there.
Right, but you still, it's
I-
not,
He's not really going over any graves, but just the weight and hitting the ground is enough for a direct berry to fall or
Yeah.
to snap.
but that's just right where they just fixed a whole bunch of them.
A couple rows over.
Right,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, if he
Oh,
would
I
have
know.
hit any of those stupid,
The bottom line is this, we don't want any vehicles in the. in the
yeah,
old
there's no
cemetery.
reason why there has to be a car over there at all,
Well,
because,
open up that gate, right?
Yeah.
well, plus they're going down to the end of the gate of the front gate of the cemetery, the old cemetery.
And there's
They
some-
drive in and then there's nowhere to turn around. So they go up on the hill where there are graves.
Right, they
And
back-
they're backing around and trying to turn back down, and then they come back on the road and they come out. So we see it on our camera that we have over there all the time. So there's no reason for cars to be over in the old cemetery anymore. There's just no reason.
No.
If they want to go visit an old grave or
They can
somebody
walk.
over there, then
walk.
we're gonna make a little behind the sand pit somewhere over there. We'll make in the spring, we'll make an area with trap rock or something, and there'll be like 4 parking spots. You can park there, and we bought the gate, Evan, we just have to go get the truck to bring the tractor over there to drill the holes, and then it's gonna be there. And then there'll be he made a walk around where the sign is, and then you can walk around there and go on the culvert. But there's really no reason other than, and it's gonna be locked with a chain and a key, and the only ones that'll have keys would be us, because the only ones that would need to go over there in like his car or yours is when you're over there fixing graves. When you're working and you need to bring the stuff. And then, so that was our dilemma, and we just said, we just gotta go get this gate and get it up. We've been saying it for a while now and just
Yeah. We've been
wasn't
talking
making it a
about,
priority, but
yeah, we've
yeah.
been talking, we didn't want any cars, vehicles up there.
And when someone else was on the board, they didn't like the idea of the fence and gate and all that stuff, and I'm sure we'll get flack for it. For some people, but you go to any other cemetery, you don't get to just drive everywhere you wanna go.
No.
Well, a lot of them, the cemeteries themselves, you can't even get into these old burying grounds.
Right,
You have to walk.
Yeah.
right. With all the work that they're doing, I really just freak out about like people just being in the
Anybody,
wrong
yeah,
place.
Nobody should be back there.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched, cause it goes to our phones, the camera, and we watched it was like 9 o'clock at night, two young girls sitting on
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
standing, leaning on a stone. An
What are
old
you doing
stone, we were like, what are you doing at 9 o'clock at night in some old cemetery? Like, you don't live there because there's no one that lives around there,
Right.
you know, there's no property connected, so I'm like, where did you walk from?
Hmm.
But, I don't know, we just,
No car?
no, they didn't have a car. We didn't see it, they didn't have it in there,
No, because, you know, we have one camera. and,
Yeah.
You know, they could have parked in the back and,
yeah, they could have
Wow.
parked right after the culvert and walked, that's not a big deal, but it's just, why ask for trouble when you don't need it, you know?
yeah.
And the gate, everyone still has access to go walk it and go do what they wanna check
Shouldn't be an
out.
issue with anybody.
Right,
No.
the only time we'll open the gate is for,
Spirit walk.
a spirit walk, or we may not even have to because the walkway's there.
Yeah.
So
then
they
let them
can,
in.
they can even walk in, you know?
But they'll
Um,
wanna come in there with their vehicles to set up the table and.
Well, if that's one or two, I don't have a problem with that, cause we know who they are. So
Yeah.
that's not a big deal. So that should be in the next week or so. Hopefully, we're trying to do it before the ground freezes. This year we do have to buy a generator. We were gonna buy it last year, but we really didn't have a lot of freezing ground, and a lot of snow. So we just waited but we have that in the budget. And we were going to, so we wrote a letter, we took from our Bartholomew money in the account, 137,000. And that is Laura put it in an account here, and so that is buying us the new 20 by 20 shed for the old cemetery that is in dire need of. So we have that on order, so that's on order, that should be coming in like 5 or 6 weeks. It'll come in two pieces because it's so big. But Evan has to put millings down and then just level it, and then they'll put it on there. And you know, when you go in over the culvert, it's right there in that open field on the left where they took it down some of those trees.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be right there, kind of like sideways. There's one door to get in the front, one small window. And then at the other end is a double door for, with a ramp. And that's just basically, we wanna be able to have a mower over there. We'll have tools up on a, nice, and up on a rack or something. We'll have some tools, shovels and stuff like that, so that we're not going in that old crypt anymore. He keeps trying to make me go in there and get stuff, but I'm not
Yeah,
going in there. I
there's
saw,
a-
there was a spider this big. I'm not going in
Well,
there.
there's some friendly mice in there.
Yeah.
too, that you get close and personal.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
You
Um,
you have to have,
Yeah, there's no reason. It's literally, what is it, like a 8 foot by 4 foot spot? Yeah, it's really not my thing.
you have to have a window?
In the shed, yeah, they should have a
Well,
window.
That's something kids break, you know?
No, it's really just, you know, if you're working in there, cause we're gonna have tables. And remember where the old shed is? We have to take that down, but before we take it down, we gotta clean it out and get all those broken
Monuments.
monuments that are in there and lay them on the tables in this one against the wall. So if you're in there and it's 80
Mhm.
degrees out, you're gonna want maybe a window
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
And they always recommend it anyways, one window.
Cause there's
Um,
not gonna be any electricity out there either.
Yeah, there's no electricity, and we can put a pull down covering on the window on the inside if we wanted.
Well, we have a little
That's not-
generator that we'll have over there.
Yeah,
We'll get some lights if we need to, if we're.
yeah, something that we can use off
Off
that
the
small generator that we have. So that's not a big deal. So that'll be good when we get that.
But we may want to, put a screen, something that they couldn't remove a screen and be able to break a window and get in there, so.
Yeah.
We'll look at something durable.
Plus we're gonna expand the, I just found out that the camera that we have, we can get more. So if we
Yeah.
purchase like add-on, so we'll add on one over by the culvert. So that it'll show if someone breaks in, or there's a problem on the culvert, and then we can add one facing
By
the,
the shed.
by the shed.
So then we wouldn't have to worry, because when we
Yeah.
capture the image, and then we'll be able to identify
Yeah,
the perp.
yeah, and then you can blow it up on your phone and see the license plate and everything, so.
Just asking.
Yeah, we just we can add 2 or 3 and then we'd have the whole camera, the whole old cemetery on camera, which would be nice.
Mhm.
Cause right now we only have the front. But, so out of that money, we're getting the shed. Out of that money, we are buying the 3 columbariums. Out of that money, we are, what else are we doing with that?
Excavator, dump
The
truck.
excavator, so we're doing the excavator, we found a mini one that's even cheaper than what we went to the, finance committee for, we went to them for like 65 or 65, something like that. So we found one that's more around the 30-40 range, so that's even better. But we were thinking about it, cause we were watching Carl, the last burial, and he literally has a dump truck that he has to put it in. So our first initial thought was, we'll borrow the dump truck from DPW, but that's not feasible because we don't know what day they're gonna need it, and if we
Yeah.
have to use it to dig a hole or put the dirt back, we're gonna need it.
Yeah.
So we can't, it's not feasible to have someone tell us, oh, you can't have it for the 2 days, and we have a funeral, you can't dig a hole without it. So if we're gonna do this project and do it right, we need it right. So we had one here at Country Auto, had one for 14.9, and they took 500 off. Cause we were the
That's not
town.
bad.
No, and it's in good shape. It's got 61 or 65,000 miles on it. But you gotta remember, it's
It's not going anywhere.
not going anywhere. We're not putting miles on it. We're going from this hill to this hill pretty
Yeah.
much and parking it. The only thing that
40
it'll,
miles a year,
if that.
yeah.
And literally one person gonna be using it, and then Evan, we were just thought of this the other day, I'm like, oh, wow, with that dump truck, it's actually gonna help him, cause right now he's where they ground all those 70-something trees in the old cemetery, he has to go with the, Kubota, shovel
Bucket out.
all that all up and put it in a bucket, and then bring the bucket over in an area and dump it. So he could easily, it would save him so much time
Yeah.
just by
Well, it
using the
makes
dump
total
truck.
Sense to have one, yeah.
Yeah, it does. And maybe in a year or two, we think of building like a, just a lean-to roof on the backside of the garage. And then in the wintertime, we could just put plastic up. No one sees it anyways, and it would
Right.
just keep whatever, vehicles we need to put in there.
Yeah.
So if we're using the digger, the tractor, maybe if that fits in the garage, then we take out some of the other stuff and maybe make a slab of cement and eventually, close it in but it's all it needs. It's just for equipment and
Yeah.
it's not, we don't need to like do a
No,
big addition or
Get
anything like
a,
that.
get a plate.
Yeah, so it does have to have a plate and all that and get registered, but that's easy. We do that right through the
Okay.
town here.
Yeah, cause that's,
Yeah, cause it'll be a town vehicle, right?
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
'cause It's gonna have to go off site for maintenance, oil change.
Yeah, that,
like that.
yeah, exactly.
And then there might be reasons to take it to the transfer station.
Right, if we have something to dump, yeah,
Mhm.
big brush or something if
Yeah.
we, yeah. So I have a letter here that we have to add because that wasn't in our initial letter in the beginning when we borrowed the money
Mhm.
from the account. It wasn't on there, so we have this letter that just has to go to the treasurer. A copy goes to accounting, and then all's good. They'll we already got the paperwork and everything ready to go on the dump truck. We just gotta get
Did
accounting.
you actually find one?
Yeah, yeah. Evan went and looked at it, so it's in pretty good shape.
Right there, no, you gotta sign,
Okay.
then pass.
So
it.
I'll get that to them, today or tomorrow. What was the other thing?
Well, I got some when you finish.
I'm just double checking. What else was there? Wreaths Across Americas on December 14th. We again exceeded, our wreaths, so we're happy about that. Any money we take in from this point on is gonna be saved, cause last year, I think, what was it, the week after, the wreaths ceremony, they sent everyone an email saying, whatever money you send me, we'll match that.
Yeah,
So last year, I think we had American Legion's money, what,
Maybe
the
1,000.
Sons of something, right?
Sons.
And then the Lions Club kicked in another 500, so we had like $1,700 that we sent them in that, I think it's like a 3 or 4 week time frame. And then they matched it. So this year, we started with like almost 3,200 or something.
Yeah.
Something like that,
which is.
which is a
almost-
great
almost-
start. It's almost half.
50%.
Right, exactly. So, I'm hoping they'll have that, done
They will.
again.
They do that every year.
Yeah. I would think so. And that's
So, and I'm gonna have your check from the Legion on Wednesday.
next Wednesday? Okay,
Spaghetti dinner.
okay.
I'm gonna be up in Hancock and Jiminy Peak. I'm not coming.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not coming.
They'll come, don't worry about it. That's fine.
As much as I'd like to see all of y'all,
No, stay.
so,
What do you got?
well, you got the thing about the old cemetery for one.
What thing?
Don't you have a thing for me to speak about the old cemetery? On that, on your agenda?
Oh, yeah, we'll update everything you did.
Yeah, well, we did quite a bit, I think. We had augmentation from the Air National Guard. Those guys did a great job. It didn't really need much to spin them up because they know safety, they know maintenance practices, they know physics and all that. So they did a lot of great work. And then when I wasn't driving them hard, Darcy was driving them hard when she was there. So slave master she is.
Did you keep track of how many you did? How many stones you fixed?
Oh, we did a lot. I got the photos. What the problem, what happens is that I do the documentation and update the database in the wintertime. I have photos by.
But do you have by date?
Yeah,
Okay,
it just takes a while to compile it. For example, every hour in the cemetery, I spend at least 5-6 hours
doing the,
stuff in the
Update.
background,
Right.
so. So that's what makes it difficult.
right,
So, and once I get home, I don't have any energy to do anything. So that's kind of like,
it's a long day.
yeah, next year I'm gonna be making some changes in that respect. But, and also too, when I get to speak about staffing a little bit, I'm gonna speak about Evan. I spoke with him today. You know, he went out and got 2 licenses on his own, so that he paid $478.69 out of his own pocket for the study, and never mind all that material. And I think, do we have a position description for that job?
I think it's really not what he does, so we probably should look at it and change it, update it
I think we
for,
need,
for personnel,
I think we should.
for
because
HR,
it-
yeah.
Because that will help
Cause it
us.
just says groundkeeper and it's just
No.
a generic one,
No.
but he does so much more than
I
that.
know, and then never mind the fact that the cemeteries never look better.
I know,
And that's why I think it's important about the letter of appreciation
Yeah.
coming from the cemetery commission.
yep,
Well, need to looking at the PD, his position description, and then write in the fact about the excavator. And about needing the license and all that other kind of stuff.
Right.
Because I think that's the only way we're gonna be able to reimburse him for this $478.69. Because there's nothing that says that's a requirement for the position.
Yeah, it's not in the job description.
no, because, right, because once you guys approved us going forward and letting him be the excavator instead of paying somebody out, we have to figure out also, like, if the town tells us that they're not, let's say the town says, the finance committee says, we can't give them a raise, we don't have the money. Then we have to look at it as, okay, so we're still gonna charge the $600 for him to dig the hole. And it goes in his pocket. No different than he gets $250. Do you know what I mean? We have to make up that difference, otherwise we're gonna lose the kid. Nobody can, so. Nobody can provide for a family on $21 an hour.
Yeah.
It's no different than Joe, our part-timer, grown man who works at the, Air National Guard or whatever.
Air Force Reserve. or
Air
whatever.
Force Reserve, whatever, and he does a phenomenal job at the landscaping and helps Evan do whatever Evan needs. And he's there, 18 hours a week and he's making $15 an hour. He's not even, he's making minimum wage. So it's like, you can't expect these people to wanna stay,
No,
and continue doing a great job and continue that if they're not making, if their idea is, I gotta go support my family and I can't do it on $21 an hour. And I gotta go find another job.
That's why it's imperative about the position description,
Yeah,
getting that updated, and then
And changing
also
it.
what we need to do is that he's also been working raising and gravestones.
I know, and that was
Classic.
never in our purview before. No, we put in the military ones for free, the veteran ones, when we get them in the mail, he comes here and gets them at town hall, or I bring them to him. And he'll put them in, but we
And-
never did other ones.
And then also too is that we've been mitigating safety hazards in the new cemetery and leaners, and not going back to the
Right.
family and saying it's on your own to get this done, because ultimately, if there was an incident in the cemetery due to a monument or a
Right.
gravestone,
Right,
who owns the property?
right,
Cemetery does, the
Right.
town does. Who are they gonna sue?
right.
They're gonna sue everybody.
Right, exactly. And these monuments are like, some of these monuments that the people are putting in, they're telling me that they spent $7,000 to $10,000 just on it's a gorgeous monument.
Yeah.
What, the prices of them have
Yeah.
gotten
And they go up
crazy.
they go up
Yeah.
every week.
Yep,
So, in the meantime, we gotta do what we can to keep them happy, because, he's drowning.
yeah,
I don't know. But the only way we're gonna be able to get this to happen is through the position description and writing that in there to
right,
support all these
yeah, and
additional.
he also needs to know. It should all be, it's just like any job, you need to know exactly what your duties are.
right,
And should he leave and someone else come in, and there's no description of, you gotta do this,
Right.
this, he's gonna say, well, it's not in my job description, so you can't do
right,
anything about it.
exactly, exactly.
So
That's
the
why it
low-
needs
the
to be
lowest
updated.
paid employee at the town Department of Public Works is $25 an hour. So. Well, we've got to, these additional things, like requirements.
Yeah,
We have to be able to associate how many hours you might do those tasks, because it may not be worth whatever dollar value an hour if you're only doing
Right.
a percentage, because they're
Right.
gonna weigh and balance that stuff out.
I know. And what's really sad is, like, we had a fan up on the old part of the new cemetery up there. A lot of the stones are put in backwards or upside down. So here's the main monument. And then this lady has passed, and she's buried here in this plot. And her stone says, you're reading it while you're standing there. And then next to her and the guy next to him, these guys are all the other direction. So Evan says, him and I both, but he goes, why are these some this way, some that way? I go, I don't know, it's the way they put them in back then. I can't tell you, that I have no answer. And there's no one to ask. So we go to the family and we say, listen, let us just show you this. And would you mind, now that he's gonna be fixing and putting this one in, do you mind if we go and make them all look the same? So he's actually not creating more work for himself, but he knows it needs to be done right and fixed. So as we have a funeral, we are able to contact the family and ask them about, hey, can we turn this stone around do you realize that it should be up here and not down here? Only
Mhm.
footstones should be veterans, they shouldn't be, unless it's a whole family that has the same
Right.
thing. But It's crazy.
Right up next to our stone is, to the left there, there's some sideways.
yeah,
How
I
did it
know.
ever happen?
I don't know.
No, well, sometimes, you know. it could
I
have
think they
been-
were looking for room over there.
Yeah.
Instead of going down the hill, I think they just went this way instead.
So. Again, that position, updating that position description,
Yeah.
and then being able to associate how many, you know, on the side, how many hours. And it just makes me return back to what Levesque was supposed to do with the shape files, because we were gonna have him.
Do
be
that in the
part of
winter,
mapping
yeah.
Stuff. And we really need to get on Levesque's ass and say, hey, damn it, you were paid to do this. You got the money and you didn't perform, you didn't deliver. Where the hell is it?
So did you talk to Tom lately?
I sent him an email, I never got a damn response from him.
Really?
Yes,
I think he's probably just frustrated because he's not getting a response. He doesn't have an answer.
yeah.
So
So,
I should call their accounting person.
well, call Tom first and say, where the hell we at? Because we paid for a service and you didn't deliver. And we need that because we've got work to do and we need to do it over the winter.
Right,
We-
perfect
we
time
add-
to do it.
Yeah, we added 4 sections. We need the shape file so that we can start updating that with the burials and move that stuff around.
That's what they're called, shape files?
Yes,
And they don't have the program to do it?
they don't have the expertise, hired
do
the
it.
expertise.
Because the guy that could do it quit.
Did a great job and he left. He got frustrated and left. So if we have,
Lisa, do the town know that Evan does all the work on
No, Tom doesn't know anything he does.
the lawnmowers?
No, he doesn't.
There's a.
They don't know any of that. That'll all be in the job description.
description, that's
Yeah.
that's why it's critical about getting what his position description is. Send that to me. I'm gonna have time next week, cause I'm gonna be at the timeshare.
Right,
But I'm gonna
To-
go out and
to
have a good
critique
time
it
and,
and
you know,
change it.
do things.
yeah.
And I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna get nice and healthy and slim.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
And then you're gonna fix this job description while you're there.
right.
Okay,
And then I may.
so
look at-
I'll get it
And
tomorrow.
And I'll
from
look at
Aileen.
the mapping program too. And get on Avery's ass and tell him to deliver.
Tom Avery.
Tell him I'm losing my sense of humor and we're not gonna be polite if he doesn't deliver.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to figure out how much that would have came out of that.
Yeah.
That
we
cost,
over-
and
that
then
we
now they
overpaid
owe-
you,
now
that we
they-
overpaid
right.
you.
How much money were we talking?
We paid him a couple times over a couple of years to deliver
A
the.
few thousand,
Yeah,
3 or 4.
well, I think it was like $10,000, wasn't it, overall?
Oh, wow, that was over a few years though,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we spread it out over a
Yeah.
few years. In
Yeah,
their CAD program, it should be an easy thing for them to do it, Darcy. They just don't have someone trained to do that, because
Right.
people don't normally ask them to do that.
but that was part of our proposal, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. That was
Okay.
in the statement of work. You may want to dig that out.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Job description from Nadine,
Yeah, yeah, and send it, scan it and send it to me.
okay,
I plan on leaving, mid-morning tomorrow.
tomorrow? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I've done all the shopping and all the rest of that stuff,
You're good.
and I'm gonna be putting everything together.
we were taking a vacation.
Oh, we have a timeshare, it's our week. And I've already cleaned the house is
Like
immaculate,
just you and Marianne?
probably just me. I was with her yesterday, can't sit,
We're on camera. Wait till we get off camera.
yeah, so. Probably just me,
So you're done with the old cemetery dump truck, we got that signed. What else was there? Was there anything else?
no, I think we got it covered. Just those,
The shed.
I have a
Cemetery,
question.
yeah.
I can wait till we're done if you want.
Is it personal?
No,
Oh, go
about
ahead.
the same. Why aren't we fixing the roads?
So, well, good thing. So we had the paving coming. And then we were told, So we had Crestview and, what's the other one where we got the stone from?
Oh, Andre.
Andrek. So Crestview was going through Andrek to do the paving. And then we found another vendor and we went and got a price from them. And they were gonna, cause they were already doing the town road, Feeding Hills Road.
Yeah,
So we were told by, somebody in town that we could just tag on to that, make a change order to that one, and then that when they're done with that, they would just come right over. But that turned out to be not true, so then that postponed it again.
the reason I
So
asked
now we have
that,
to start all over
it's,
again.
it's cold,
Yeah,
and that stuff won't spread good when it's cold.
yeah, no, if we were gonna do it, it was gonna be done in the beginning of November when we still had the nice weather. It's not getting done now, and now
And the-
it'll have
and
to
the
wait till
plants are open,
spring.
They're all shutting down. now.
Yeah, they're all pretty much
The
done.
one in Palmer paving, they're about year round.
Yeah, well, that's who was our second contact. So, they're gonna probably
I
get
keep-
them, we'll probably get them, and we have to then turn around and do the, potholes. Cause we have quite a few potholes,
Yeah,
but,
It's one section of the road is almost all wiped out, you know? A big hole of it
yeah,
gone. You know,
But
Yeah.
it's nothing dire, you know, that we can't live with until.
No.
spring,
Yeah.
so.
right. And we have the money, to do it, but every time we get postponed for a reason,
Then it's
the-
more money. when
6 months later, that you go to get a new quote and it's $10,000 more.
Yeah.
So,
Crestview wouldn't have done it right when you wanted it.
no,
What?
no,
We didn't have the money.
we had the money, but then he didn't have the time and then he pushed us off and then. They kept pushing us off and then kept getting closer to the fall. And then we said, well, let's get another quote and see. So we had someone else come in and give us another price. And we were fine with that because it was under what we had for money. And then it just got cold too fast and then they all shut down. So we'll have to wait for spring for that one.
We're held hostage by the weather.
Yeah, pretty much. Cause last year we were supposed to have it done and had nothing but rain. So they couldn't.
This summer, we got great weather.
Yeah. It was nice. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yes,
but,
Alright, so the roads, that was the other
yeah,
project.
but one of the things that when we do or get the volunteers to work, to do the gravestones. We're gonna, because we don't have any shade over there. It's hot, it's humid, so as far as the months of July and August, will be very limited. So we try to do our work in April, May, early June
Yeah,
and September and early October.
right, cause October was gorgeous this year.
Yeah,
You
so,
couldn't actually, I thought October was more
yeah, because,
Indian summer than September.
yeah, because we don't want anyone to wilt or get hurt.
No. We've had that one. So are we good?
We're good.
All good? All good?
Yeah.
Okay,
All
all right. Hold on. End of the meeting, 4:49. Are you
So-
sure you wanna stop the recording?